You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey B&B fans, Belinda from Soap Dirt here, and I have got some juicy spoilers for next week, but the full roster of weekly spoilers has not been released yet. Bold is continuing to hold back on their official spoilers until deeper into the weekend for no reason I can fathom. Nonetheless, we've got some really hot stuff for you, and we should have the full roster of weekly spoilers hopefully tomorrow. But for now, let's dig into what's coming the week of May 13th through 17th. And of course, be sure to stick around to the very end when I will show you the brand new sizzling promo for the week ahead. But first, please subscribe if you have not already. So the latest info we have for next week has Deacon and Sheila making out on the couch, newly engaged, blissfully happy, working on their fast-tracked wedding. So Deacon and Sheila are home from the hospital. They are kissing, cuddling, happy. Looks like she got a clean bill of health from the hospital after the IV fluid and all that. I just wonder if she filed a complaint against Dr. Lee Finnegan for physically assaulting her. That is not great composure for a doctor. I'm not saying that Lee doesn't have the right to hate Sheila, but that's not a good look on the job, physically assaulting a patient. I am certain we have not heard the last of Lee's outrage. We've barely seen the beginning, barely scratched the surface. I am expecting her to confront Finn soon, to commiserate with Steffy, probably to go back and confront Sheila again. And I do expect Deacon and Sheila are going to have a constant stream of shocked people stopping by Il Giardino, people who need to see it to believe it. I'm betting many of them may tell her they wish she really was dead. Which isn't the nicest thing to say, but totally understandable giving her history with the Forrester. There is a spoiler photo of Donna and Brooke and Eric and Ridge having a little get-together, a little meeting at the Forrester mansion. It looks very tense, and I have no doubt that Sheila Carter's resurrection is the subject of that tense conversation. We are also going to see Hope Logan chatting with Dr. Finn in his office at the hospital, and she's there to talk to him about their parents' wedding. And Finn wants to know if she's there to tell him Deacon wants him to come to the wedding. Hope tells him that Deacon wants him to be the best man. I already predicted that Finn and Hope would be on hand for the Sheila Deacon wedding that comes the following week. So not next week, the week after. And after these spoilers, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I said I thought Finn might officiate or walk his mom Sheila down the aisle, but it seems the happy couple has another request. They want him to be Deacon's best man, but maybe he'll also walk Sheila down the aisle, since I'm not expecting a lot of attendees. And since it is Hope Logan conveying this request to Finn, that sounds to me like she is going to be at the wedding also, which I also predicted. Otherwise, I don't think she would have come to the hospital to his office to discuss their parents' nuptials unless she was planning to show up. They are about to be step siblings, and that means one thing. Bold and the Beautiful is going to have them banging at some point, because that's how they do things. Icky step incest stuff, like with Thomas and Hope and like with Thomas and Ivy. Not that they're step siblings, but they're all still Forresters. Just icky stuff like that. You know, Ridge making out with his ex-stepdaughter Bridget. Icky stuff. So now that they're about to be family, ugh, blah. All right. We also have Steffy, of course, going over to lay her eyes on Sheila Carter. She cannot, believe that Sheila's alive, but Finn has made it very clear she is. She really is. And Steffy killed Sugar instead. So Steffy tells Sheila, this sick, twisted tie that you have to Finn, it ends today. Steffy has a lot of that Forrester entitlement like Ridge does when he just shows up and says things and acts like people are going to do what he says. Why would Sheila Carter listen to her? We knew that Steffy was going to be angry that Sheila is not dead, angry that Finn's calling her mom, angry that he thinks she's redeemed and should be in their lives. I think Steffy is going to have to hit her husband with an ultimatum, but she's going to try and start with Sheila first, I think. force Sheila to take a hike. I mean, it'd be easier on Steffy and Finn's marriage if Sheila would voluntarily walk away from her son, but why would she at this point? She did that before, and Steffy still dropped by to punch her in the face. I suspect Sheila is going to play redeemed and reformed. Tell her she loves her, that she wanted to save her. She's really changed. Play nice while Steffy is ranting like a lunatic, so she looks better, Steffy looks worse, something like that. I do wonder if Deacon or Finn are going to witness any of this or walk in on any of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turns physical and Steffy comes at her again. And obviously, Sheila is going to ignore Steffy's demand and insist she won't be kept apart from her son, and is going to tell her that Finn wants to be in her life, stuff like that. It's going to force Steffy to go back and boss Finn around and give him an ultimatum and tell him he can't see his mommy anymore. I mean, we all knew the resurrection of Sheila was probably the start of the death knell for Steffy and Finn's marriage, and it's about to get so much messier. Finally, our last spoiler. It's painful to talk about, but we're going to pick back up with Zende and Luna and RJ. And of course, what's coming is the most predictable thing you can imagine. If you don't remember, when Zende and Luna spent the night together, she made it very crystal clear she was on birth control. Okay? She was like, not even worried about it. She was on birth control. So she was confident there wasn't going to be an unplanned pregnancy in the mix because of her drugged up mint encounter with Zende behind RJ's back. Then we had her finally telling RJ, him punching Zende, and them all three just evaporating while the Sheila storyline took center stage. Now they're back. I can't say I miss them. And of course, RJ forgave her pretty easily, which makes sense, and his mom Brooke told him to, because Luna didn't knowingly do anything wrong. It was Poppy and her illegal drugs and Zende being a horn dog. But next week, we have this scene where Poppy is holding a pregnancy test and Luna is saying, what does it say? Is it negative? Is it positive? I mean, it would be great if it was Poppy's pregnancy test and Bill knocked her up. Then I would be like, okay, that's very sweeps. But I am guessing that Luna is the one that took the pregnancy test because she's looking so stressed out. And of course, they decide to do the pregnancy test at the Forrester Creations office in the design office, because when you're concerned about an unplanned pregnancy, obviously you want to take the pregnancy test at work in the office around people, right? As one does. So they are standing in the middle of a heavily trafficked room, Poppy holding this peed on stick. I mean, come on. That's just an HR violation, and it's tacky, and it's lazy writing because obviously someone's going to walk in. RJ, Zende, Brooke, who knows? Honestly, who cares? But because they did it at the office instead of their apartment, it seems like somebody's going to stumble across it. And of course, Luna's going to turn up to be pregnant, right? So we can have the same old tired who's the daddy thing. And I wonder if this unplanned pregnancy will also resurrect the whole who's Luna's daddy. You know, getting pregnant, not being sure who's the dad, might have her looking at her mom's life choices and demanding again to know who's her father. Of course, if, as we have talked about before, you can search on our videos, Finn, Luna, search that together in our videos, and you'll find the one where I talk about all the reasons I actually think Finn might be Luna's dad. Of course, Poppy might double down on lies to keep Luna away from Finn or from finding out because Sheila Carter is back alive. So we'll see. And I know a lot of people on Soap's social media were wondering, what was the point of the Zende RJ Luna thing if she's not pregnant? She shouldn't be, because she was on birth control, but maybe Poppy's magic mints have other magical powers like making birth control pills not work or an IUD evaporate. I don't even know. Again, I barely care. But RJ and Luna are just way too young to think about a baby. But the most controversial thing, of course, would it be for it to be Zende's kid. But it is bulbs. There's also a very high chance of some sort of confrontation resulting in a miscarriage. You know, we're right here at the end of sweeps, and BB has pulled out a standard old tired soap plot. Unplanned pregnancy on top of this mess of semi-non-consensual sex. I do not know why all the networks have men running soap operas. None of this is romantic, not even a little. maybe if they had a female showrunner, they'd have a better idea of what's romantic, what's sexy, because waking up next to your boyfriend's cousin after your mom roofied you ain't sexy or romantic. Brad Bell continues to drive ratings down, 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 and this kind of stuff's going to keep it going in the wrong direction, in my humble opinion. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to show you that promo. Subscribe if you haven't. Drop your comments. Come back soon. We are here talking bold 7 days a week. As always, it's blended from Soap Dirt. Buckle up. Here's that promo.
Here's a look ahead.
Let me guess. Deacon wants me to come to the wedding too.
He wanted to know if you would be his best man.
This thick, twisted tie that you have to pin, it ends today.
What does it say? Is it negative? Is it positive?